Oh yeah, this quest. Yeah. Hello? The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by the voice raised in anger, Abelard's voice the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. So, okay, so the thing about this quest is, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to activate around Act 2, but the developers brought it to Act 1 without proper optimization. That's why I was having trouble with this quest. You know, when I was speaking to her and then suddenly the cutscene kind of, you know, begins, but it never ends. So this is the reason. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, no less because I see you have already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrila Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. Let's lay down the law here. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bicker in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times call for drastic measures. Vent exclaims hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary, but I'm convinced that this step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent, almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, let out a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wersarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard and then at you. How did this start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It'll begin when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who has been killed in a drunken brawl. Reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No pirates have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and the workers to a head. Where does Seneschal come into all this? I shall explain. Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course when I receive information about pirates hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, no one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wersarian. Arrest, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Vent says bitterly. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 workers' clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them, the situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault team and crush the strike with maximum force. What do you have to say in all this? I see no need to act anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interest of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring pirates. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. Where's the before? One of the poor sectors of the lower deck is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are easily replaceable resources, and one which is now more besides given succor to pirates and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst it means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We have done so again. We would done so again. If the crackdown on Depot 4 hasn't been so harsh, another important point to bear in mind. The problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knockdown effect on all of the neighboring sectors. Really? There's an insurrection on my ship and you're not telling me? I will not deem it a problem worthy of a rogue trader's attention. You kind of forgot that we're basically on a void ship, cruising through space. It's not like I could just jump ship. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in a revolt. 30-some years ago, we had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rules across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Scarves? Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure if the road trader addresses the malcontent directly, she will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room? I have already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. Yeah, let's vouch for Yodi Abelard here. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for the support. Thorlon grits his teeth slightly, an enterprise bordering on the sophomoric. But please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Oh, crap. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. I mean, either is good, but I like having Yodi Cassia to, you know, do her whole command thing. Hey, this is Syrian. Take that, scum! Look who it is. It's all his fault. All of it. Abelard reflectively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment of where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor like a veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. They were shouting her name. Of course they are. The organization of the daily, routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems which I never to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you are akin to a creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I'm the man whose name is attached to every order docking rations or lowering a bay's heating. These people dare to disrespect a senior officer. They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here, and if the situation has been dealt with by the relevant officers. Abelard grimaced. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vim's whims, Lord Captain. But then again, we are trying to go to the cause of the problem. If we just send in the hit squad, the thing might just, boil over. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, by no means. Abelard adds peevishly, but in the name of terror, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down pirates. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Let's keep moving. Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. That must be where the workers sleep between shifts. Wait, I can upgrade again? Okay. Okay, I'm alert. Athletics. Intelligence, perception, weapon skill, ballistic skill. Let's do this. Weapon skill, toughness, strength, willpower. What else? Athletics, coercion, demolition, Medicaid, lore, warp. You. Ballistic skill, perception. Demolition, awareness, Medicaid, lore, Imperium. Her ballistic skills are insane. Let's give you some ballistic skill. Okay. Oh yeah. You, Yodikasia. Your long life is better. Okay, whatever. Carbine. Multi-Multis. Sears gargoyles. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's go. Your grace. Or deck rabble.
Victory awaits. Doubt is for the weak.
Am I supposed to go again? Are hear also a Steam Master Van Colux. Does the Inquisitor never sleep? Use pipe. The other reason. Damn it! Come on. Huge pipe. The other reason the ship runs through many bays, delivering air, water, heat, and the propulsive force of steam. Let's see. Let's not touch anything first, shall we?
A new challenge for me.
Okay, so let's just speak. Yeah. The sound of the heated discussion reverberates through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avila Vent of the ship's forces is barring the path of the heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can't take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my legends fall on deaf ears. Ablart mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent or the officer looming over her, or both. Your Ladyship. Your Ladyship. Noticing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute. Their subordinates follow suit in a moment later. What's the situation? Your Ladyship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. No. I want to speak to... Let's say this. Pale slightly. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they have nothing left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We have to deal with them once the current situation is resolved. Let's do this. Pale slightly, but straightens up and clips up. Forgive me, Lord Captain. I will take steps to ensure such a thing does not happen again. Let's just speak to the strikers. Robert mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck.
I won't tolerate weakness. I'll lay claim to the stars.
Can I come over here?
We need to investigate.
Lower deck rabble. Let me see how they live on the upper decks. What? Immersive. Well, this is depressing. The planet can be seen beyond the massive bars. Passive examining pipe allows you to research. Frenzy? Why is he frenzy?
None shall stand in my way.
Is there something beyond the bar? How the hell do I open it?
Victory awaits!
Lower deck officer. Lower deck rabble. Okay, let me save the game first.
A new challenge form.
They're not attacking yet. Listen to box. Graduate letters run along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. Looks like the box has been passed down from the family from generation to generation.
It's about time.
Wow, okay. I was born in this sector. It looks like I like to die
I
here
won't
too.
tolerate weakness. I'll lay claim to the stars.
What advice do you seek?
None shall stand in my way.
Oh, whatever. Let's just go. A dozen pair of eyes stares apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernable to the strange and to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, these people break away from the crowd. An elderly woman and two men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there, the lieutenant won't let pass. Our plans are all inside the base that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who had just about enough. We are getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. When it's checked, these words seem sincere to you. Their body language at the glance traded between them revealed that the news of the attack had shocked them. Okay. Striking? This is new to us, your ladyship. Say a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, beanpole, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for pirates. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole base for a week at a time. So we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs. All because of those enforcers. The woman spits on the floor and rubs the spit with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling towards us. The grim man with a scarred face throw up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder, we went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace, without being harassed. We found a cultist amulet. Do you have... And there are pirates hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just say they were looking for pirates among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be pirates here? We know our own people, and there have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'll be the first to report them. As for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off the dead body. There are no pirates still breathing in our sector, that's for sure, but when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with... Nobody's ever traded these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these pirates have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and smaller transformers and the servo motor. The same way my great-grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we're people of faith. I confirm the information regarding the proper tending of the machine spirits in this sector. Servitors indicate that these commoners are performing the sacraments they are permitted to know. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that the unfair object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my third little one. This is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who would you blame when beasts crawled out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, do you have anything to say? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos Worshippers hidden in this sector. The specific steps taken by the enforcers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Heretic pirates are no drunken Steve Doris. Is that Steve Doris or Steve Doris? They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Okay, what change do you want? Will you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain herself is asking us, Bill's rat, what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damn enforcers and quit turning off the heat. And to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves in these pirates. These pirates do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop harassing us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the pirates' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there's any more of those damn amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The worker's eyes darted between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds, he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few big noises of approval. Thoughts? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly become minions of the arch enemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity. It does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. But what begins as petty thievery can turn into a far greater problem. I have seen it before. Abelard face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment who was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal cork choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they turn into next, my verdict is simple: give them no quarter. I mean, I am. There's 65. Spreading arch-enemy on the anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands will be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdrawing those demands, and we'll consider the rest. Damn it! The tail worker they call Bayfield flinches nervously under your gaze, but he casts a glance at the old woman and says nothing. I don't like seeing the clans at odds with each other, but I agree with Lord Captain. I won't demand the disbanding of the enforcer. The old woman's hands cut through the air. I'd rather be gunned down by the enforcers than back down now. They had us all killed anyway, sooner or later. Well, let's do this. The old woman faced pale, but she merely grits her teeth and spits on the floor again. Sorry, old man. I'm not putting my life and my whole clan's lives on the line because of your stubbornness. We're most eager to resist. You get right to it, Lord Captain. Ah, crap.
Follow my lead.
What have I got myself into?
We should deal with this.
Operation successful.
What? Can you show us what the steam pressure of the pipe is close to the maximum? However, it does not reach the bar at the other end. This marker is missing. The workers went on strike.
It's about time.
There's something over here. What is this? A toilet? Yeah, I think it's a toilet. The heat sink warms the air around to a scorching temperature. This is the warmest part of the bay. The workers have even dragged deck chairs here.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Greeting and grace. Captain.
A new challenge for me.
Should I be looking for the heretics now? Yeah. He's frenzied.
Victory awaits.
Run that rebel, run that rebel. Machine rate set.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Should I go see if the okay.
Follow my lead.
Where am I supposed to go now? Towards the shown calmer surroundings. Where?
It's about time.
That grapple. Here? Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companion, saying, "I have urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment." Abelard looks at you, and his last vestige of restraint vanished. "Well, are you pleased with your investigations, Lord Captain? You kowtow to the disloyal rabble, you believe their lies and show them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by pirates, the rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc, whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valanci's protectorate?" Look, no one's blameless here. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Abelard says respectfully, "Remember Lord Captain Theodora? Do you think she ever set one slippered foot onto the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to the grand designs of the Protectorate, as any true strategist of the Rogue Trader ought." Let's do this. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation has spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Abelard's face relaxes slightly. You're right, at least as concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. And Abelard stands straight in tension. "I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself." Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. "The prosperity of the Von Valanci's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw that in Lord Captain Theodore deems these the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new rules and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. They create impulse. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. I left behind everything I've known, everything my family have known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodore entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rest on my shoulders, and then suddenly everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hangar on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. Rogue Trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I'll tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak, all this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty bound to aid the new Rogue Trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that I must insulate you from the problems in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed accessible to requirements. As except to start living in your world. See plenty of sentiment and hand-wringing in recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment or your tried and tested procedures. Let's not. Me, stop living in the past. No, I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in a new world. The world where Theodore is gone, where you and I have new decisions to make. You are the only person who have competence. Chef, I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. Valley Theodore created and I trust the situation otherwise smooth operation. Since the expert I mean, I kinda sympathize with Abelard here. A ship does have its regulations for a reason, and it worked. Problem is, we're dealing with the changer of ways here. Rules doesn't really matter to him. I guess. And yeah, I guess I understand. No, except yeah, let's do this. Solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain, and a moment of silence he adds, looking at you with interest, your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now please, let us leave the lower decks. If a road trader decides to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. Okay, I believe well, if it went to fighting, well, if it went to, you know, all-out brawls, I will have to fight the rabbles here, I think. Hello. Okay. To the Lord Captain's quarters. Oh, finally! Wait, they're here too. What the hell? Is there anything I can loot? Is the other? Okay, she's gone. Oh, okay. I can get things here. Oops. Nope. The ticking of the bulky clock sounds too quiet for its size. The light gleaming off the polished skull for some unknown Xenos makes it seem like the bony grimace is mocking you. The part organ seems to have been sitting idle for many years. Bizarre treatment hung on the trophy board. The light smooth surface on the object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes. The fine sculpture made from strange metal seems to be absorbing any rays of light that falls upon it. Liturgies of the faithful to his words and name. The text below this solemn heading looks noticeably faded. It appears... damn it. It appears that the prayer book has been kept open on this page for a very long time. Positions of the pieces on the board suggest that this game regicide was interrupted and the winner was never determined. The glinting of the display weapons is mesmerizing. You have never seen so many of these articles before. Come over here, please. And this is where I'm going. Okay, let's take a look. Beyond the stained glass, in the darkness of the endless space, the faraway stars glimmer, filling you with odd sense of dread. My drawers, of course. And this is the pool, I guess. Oh, come on, I can't go in and take a dunk. Water calming murmurs and the warm steam feels inexplicably deceptive. A moment of weakness and rest promise nothing but danger. Yeah, remember the door's supposed to go out of here, right? The long dead eyes of this fierce monster forever captures the fear and pain of his final moments. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but this is where I'm gonna leave it off because it's been quite late for me. So, thank you all very much for watching. I know, well, it's not really exciting or action-packed. I mean, I did took out the word bearer, so there's that. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. I believe I'm supposed to. Yeah, I believe I'm basically in Act 2 now. I can get out the Recklin system. So yeah, I'm very curious on where the hell I'm supposed to go next. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys and gals next time. Ciao.